Yes, my name is Naomi Garner. I am from Brunswick, Georgia. I had a son who died from hemophilia when he was only 2 years old. He was diagnosed at birth when he was circumcised. Well, when we took him home, we had to take him back about a couple of days because he was bleeding from his penis, and we took him back, and that's when they ran the tests, and they said he had hemophilia. Of course, I was familiar with hemophilia because I had a brother that died from hemophilia, and I had nephews that had hemophilia. So anyway, when we took him back, they diagnosed him with that, and from there went on, we got hooked up with the Hemophilia Foundation, and they were beginning to send me factory stuff for him, Factory 9. And I would have to take him back to the hospital to have this medicine injected in him because I was experienced. I couldn't do it myself. So one day, he got really sick several times. But at this age, he was 2 years old. He was running around in the store at JCPenney's, one of the stores through the racks. You know how kids do. Anyway, he ran through it. He bumped his head. His forehead was real big. And they gave him his factor time and time again. It went down. It took about a while for it to go down. But anyway, after it went down, later on, he just started getting sick, and he kept telling me that it hurt. And so I said, well, Ian, what's wrong? And then one day he just laid there, his eyes was running around in his head. And I took him to the emergency room. Probably it was on a Friday. I took him, and they said they didn't see no signs of him bleeding. So I had his medicine in my hand. They didn't want to give it to him. They don't want to listen to what a parent has to say. So I did what they said. They told me he had an ear infection. Okay, I took him home. I gave him the medicine. He still wasn't getting any better. He kept crying that it hurt. So the next day, I took him back to ER, and they still just treated him and said, well, it still was his ears. That I couldn't understand. And he was too sick. He kept throwing up and everything, and they wanted me to just let him relax. I did that. My sister said for me to bring him to Savannah. We had good doctors in Savannah. But I said he was just too sick for me to take him to Savannah, which is about an hour away from where we stay. And the next day, we went to church. He came back. He was flunking, like having seizures. And so I took him back to ER. And this time they kept him, and they gave him some Valiums, like said, to calm him down. And I noticed one day, that evening, he just kept turning a pecan tan, like the blood was just going over his little body. And he kept saying, Mama, it hurt. And it's nothing that I could do. But I'm only doing what the doctors tell me to, what the problem is. That I couldn't understand. So later on that night, about 9:30 that night, he started flicking again. And the skin was just turning like a pecan tan. And he began the seizure. So I called the nurse in, and she ran in, and they was running around. They did a defibrillator and everything. They took me out the room down the hallway, and they was running. They called code 99 to pediatrics. Oh, I lost it because I know that was in my baby's room. And the nurse ran to me. She said, Miss Garner, do you have his medicine? Now, I brought this medicine with me 2 times to the emergency room, and they said they didn't see no signs of him bleeding, so they wouldn't give it to him. So I was fierce at that point. So I told her no, I did not have the medicine. Doctors running from everywhere. They was calling around trying to get some. And I just felt like at the last minute of his life, if they were sending for his medicine, couldn't the medicine have did something 2 days ago? I was just hurt, distraught. And that's why I said, don't let anyone tell you. When you know that something's wrong with your kids, you stick to it. Don't let nobody change your mind. I don't care if it is the doctors. Because it's very important that you fight the fight. Just do what you can do for your kids. I have a grandson who has hemophilia right now, severe hemophilia. He had to get his legs amputated because of this. I have nephews that have contracted the HIV virus from the bad medicine. One has already passed on, and one is still here, about 46 years old. He's still doing great, but he takes care of himself, and I just thank God for that. But I figured if I had pushed a little more, been more persistent, that my son would have still been here today, with us. So I tell parents and parents everywhere, watch out for your kids, talk to your doctors, get involved in whatever's going on with them. And if you tell somebody else about what you're going through, and maybe they'll have a better perspective about it, and they'll do what they need to do. And go to your chapters and inform them so they can help you. And they'll lead you to where you need to go. Because now, that was in 80. Now medicine has grown way and beyond, and doctors know more. I was in a small town and they didn't know. So you're here with more up-to-date medicine and things that's going on, camps and meetings that you can go to and get information that I did not get. So I just want to tell people and people everywhere, don't let your story be my story. Let it end on a good note, that you did all you can do, and you go to your hemophilia meetings and support the Hemophilia Foundation and let them find out more stuff that can help you in your everyday life. Thank you for listening to my story.